that she's got a sugar daddy that is like backing her up with major amounts of money.
What is the backstory behind this whole canned food drive?
So the backstory is Miss Wayland and I were both teaching MUSH about 13 years ago.
The topic is certainly going to be about a time in our history where we had a great deal of economic disparity, bank failures, things like that, where there was a lot of people in our community that didn't have what they needed. And this is kind of an opportunity for us to kind of tie together giving back to the people, right, to the community. So when we have so much to offer, that's certainly something that we are trying to implement in the food drive.
And the fact that we did the depression unit right around the holiday season just seemed to be like a perfect kind of tie into everything. And then we decided, I think the competition then, we decided to expand it to all of social studies, and that then began the draft system where we drafted Team Chazen and we drafted Team Wayland. Then we had those pictures made of each other, and that goes on the bulletin board outside. And then just through, just talking it up and kind of talking smack to each other, we just, the early times that we did it, like the first couple of years we did it, the kids got like super into it. And like we would raise something like 5,000 or 6,000 cans between the both of us.
We just thought, like I said, in the early years that we could maybe get more participation if we made it a competition. Kids are always really generous, but the idea of competition usually kind of sparks a little bit more generosity, and it kind of just made it a little bit more fun. So it's been like over the years getting increasingly more competitive, different strategies, different allegiances that are being made. We have a tendency to stay at the T of our department and make sure when kids are walking in that we're directing them to our room versus our opponent's room. So it kind of, like I said, started like picking up more and more momentum every year, where kids then also have to choose if they happen to have both of us as a teacher, or the rest of our department is actually split into two teams. So we have a full-blown draft, and then we pick our team, and then from there, our team then goes ahead and advertises the food drive, and we basically have that 5-day period to get as much as we can, and then we kind of fill it out on the chart that's at the edge of our department every single day. So we do updates.
So what is your record in this canned food drive?
Undefeated.
And what is your record in this canned food drive?
You really have to bring this up with everybody.
Just for the camera.
My record, unfortunately, is 0 and everything. So I have not won, but I have a good feeling about 2021 that we are going to be history making this year.
I'm not going to divulge too much because I know Chazen is probably going to try to figure out ways to tap into my strategies, but he just, is I don't know if it's because people enjoy watching him lose, all right? Because they think it's funny because he's so dramatic about it all the time, or if just the fact that our kids happen to be a little bit more generous, or maybe that our style of maybe encouraging kids to participate is more, whatever it is. But I do think my students enjoy Team Chazen going down, and the fact that we are now undefeated raises the bar where now the next level of kids know they can't be the class that loses to them.
Sure, I personally have some conspiracy theories that she's got a sugar daddy that is like backing her up with major amounts of money, that she's able to make these big buys at the end of the year. I can't say that her kids are any better than my kids, but somehow she motivates them a little bit more. So I've tried spying on her. I've tried to figure out, what's her secret mojo, and obviously I've not tapped into that yet.
And what is your response to all these crazy conspiracy theories as to why you're winning this food drive every year?
There really is not a theory. That's what's so amazing about this. That he thinks one, which makes it even funnier than ever. He tries to think that, like, by intimidating me, that's going to work, and the reality is all it does is just put fuel to the fire, right? So he thinks that, if I walk by his room and he gets his kids to boo, and to, heckle me, that's going to upset me. And in reality, I already kind of gave them one canned food because I know that might be all that they're going to get. So I already gave them their first donation and put it in the room, So I feel like, I'm like giving him a head start because clearly he needs it. So I just wanted to make sure that I was kind of helping out his cause and making sure his kids know. And I wanted to meet the next group of kids that was going to lose. So I kind of like pop into his class every now and then, just make sure that they all know that they're not going to win.
And so, what has been your new strategy this year? I know
Well, I'm not going to discuss any new strategies right now. I'll be more than happy to talk with you about it. I will say that there is a rumor that we have expanded our drive to social media. I will not confirm or deny that that is happening, but we potentially might be taking our drive to the masses and to the alumni.
Okay, I was going to say that. Well, alumni, how are you getting them involved?
If I were to be doing this, then one of the ways that you could potentially do it is by getting in contact with alumni via social media like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and trying to make connections with former Team Chazen or Team Wayland.
But I know he is becoming increasingly more dramatic and drastic, and he has now resorted to social media, tapping into alumni, his wife posting and tagging me on social media as his nemesis. It's continuing to escalate even more and more. And even alumni are kind of chiming in saying, I still remember this competition. How can I help? We keep posting our Venmos on each other's pages, trying to make sure that if anybody wants to Venmo us versus the opposite side, that they have accessibility. So it's getting, like I said, it's increasingly more and more competitive. But he's just getting desperate, and it appears that that's where it's at, and I get it. Like I said, it must be hard for him to lose all the time, I wouldn't know, but I guess it would be kind of hard for him to kind of have to deal with that. So he has to deal with it every single year, and every time he thinks he gets close, I win again,
And then after all those food's collected, you might have said this earlier, but where does it all go to?
So normally we have worked with Circle of Concern, just because they are super friendly as far as picking it up, and all we got to do is just basically walk it down to the front of school. They supply all the trucks and stuff. We have tried to work with the Parkway Food Pantry, and we always see if they can take it first, but they just have, I think they just have less workers, and their schedule is a lot tighter. Sometimes their schedule doesn't necessarily always work out with ours. But we definitely, the Circle of Concern that we work with is in the Parkway community. So either way, Parkway families are getting assisted by what we're doing. So it's usually either Circle of Concern or the Parkway Food Pantry.
Perfect.